Coming up, it's a classic matchup between an up-and-coming program and an established league power. Montgomery College Volleyball has suffered through some lean times the past few seasons, but with some key recruits and strong returning leadership, this program is on the rise and looks to make some noise in Maryland JUCO this season. But their improvement will be tested tonight when they take on the defending district champion and longtime Maryland JUCO volleyball power, Arundel Community College. So get ready for the excitement of women's college volleyball on Montgomery College television, starting now. From the Rockville campus of Montgomery College in Rockville, Maryland, Montgomery College Television is proud to present NJCAA Women's College Volleyball with the Montgomery College Rockville Knights taking on the Arundel Community College Pioneers. Hello everyone, I'm Michael Brown, and it is my pleasure to once again welcome in my partner, Sean Kobrin.
Great to be with you for another season, Michael.
Well, it's great to be back together, and we've got an intriguing match on our hands tonight. We've got longtime league power, defending regional and district champion, the Arundel Community College Pioneers come rolling in here tonight to take on Montgomery College. Now, this Knights team has improved, and they're much more talented than teams we've seen out of them in the past. But tonight's game is going to be a true test for just how far this program has come.
Absolutely, Michael. Arundel only returns one player from that championship team of last year, but they are reloaded, looking to hang another banner from their gym. They come in here with only one loss in the season so far, and that's to Howard County Community College, who's ranked number 10 in the country right now. So not too bad when that's your only loss. This will be a great matchup to see where Rockville ranks in the pecking order of Maryland JUCO.
Well, Sean, you and I, with our own eyes, have seen the improvement in this Knights team under second-year head coach Amir Mafinejad. They've come a long way in a short period of time. And before the match, Sean and I sat down with Coach Mafinejad, and we asked him just exactly where his team has improved so far this season.
Our passing is, I think, a lot better than last year. Our knowledge of the game, players that have been played in high school and have the experience and relaying that information to the players. We've had good chemistry last year. We worked hard as a team last year. We're working hard this year. Not that happy with that yet, but I think offensively we have a couple of 2-3 players that are very consistent, a lot more consistent than what we had last year. Obviously the setting helps, so Michelle brings in good consistent setting, and she knows the game, she runs the offense, she's a good communicator on the court. So I think on all facets of the game we've improved, and I think there's more room. I think there's a little bit more room to improve on.
Well, Sean, it seems as though the Knights' improvement touches on just about every facet of the game.
And it's all true, Michael. With his first offseason behind him, Coach Mafinejad was able to get the workouts, the conditioning with the players that were here. He was able to go out into the community and raise awareness of this program, get some newcomers in here to mix with the key returners, and now we'll see on the court. They're building something pretty good here at Rockville.
Well, that is for sure, and we're just moments away now from the first serve of the night. So let's take a quick look at some of the keys to tonight's match.
Here's what we're looking at tonight, Michael. Net play. Arundel has 2 front court players over 5'10". Outside hitter Emily Wolf is deadly. Her hitting efficiency is almost 40%. It's kind of like a 400 hitter in baseball. That'll be tough on Rockville, whose biggest challenge is blocking at the net. We'll see if the Pioneers can have their way or if the Knights can rise up. Tonight, Rockville's hopes are hanging on Hunter. Hunter Shawhorn has been the Knights' best player thus far this season. She's in the top 10 in Maryland JUCO in aces, digs, assists, and kills, and she'll be one of the best players that Arundel has to deal with all year. Both teams will look to bring the chatter. Volleyball is all about quick transitions from defense to offense. After a while, teammates learn each other's tendencies, but both of these teams are freshman-oriented, meaning that these ladies have not played together for very long. They will have to be able to talk to each other to prevent mental breakdowns and easy points for the opposition. A lot of that organization comes from the back line, so both teams will be leaning on their liberos. Rockville co-captain Jessica Romero keeps things together for a much improved Knights back line, and her counterpart on the Pioneers, Heidi Rogers, also her team's captain. She is also the only returner for the defending regional and district champs.
Well, Sean, this match sets up as a true barometer for just how far this Montgomery College volleyball program has risen as they prepare to take on one of the league's perennial powers. And we're going to get some answers coming up very soon because the first serve is just ahead. So stick with us. Sean and I will be right back with the starting lineups and the first serve after this. Welcome back to the Rockville campus of Montgomery College. Michael Brown alongside my partner Sean Kobrin, and we're just about ready for the start of the match between the Montgomery College Rockville Knights and the Arundel Community College Pioneers. So let's take a quick look at today's starting lineups. First for the visiting Pioneers.
Well, Michael, we talked about Anne Arundel's captain, Heidi Rogers, the only returner on this team, and outside hitter, Emily Wolf. On the other side, Linda Murphy, she leads the team in kills, and when you have an efficient offense like the Pioneers do, you have to look to the setter, Erica Moran.
And Anne Arundel is coached by Kevin McGovern. He's in his second year. His assistant is Aaron Connor, and the trainer is Misty Sachs. And now let's have a look at the starters for Montgomery College.
Asha Brown, Michael, she looks great as a sophomore, and AJ Clark, another returner who held the team together this summer. We'll definitely keep an eye on Hunter Shawhorn, a star in the making, and setter Michelle Alvarez has been a huge difference maker for Rockville.
And the Knights are coached by Amir Mafinajad in his second season, and his assistants are Dan Smith and Amanda Cook. The trainer is Carrie Steele. And our referees for tonight's match, our first official is Kevin Sipple, that's him on the right. And our second official is Don Wu. And of course with the officials, the first official is the official who stands out on the ladder at the net. The second official is on the floor on the opposite end of the net, but is on the floor level.
Right,
So,
a lot of ground to cover between the two of them, but we've seen pretty good officiating in the Maryland JUCO ranks.
and of course, there'll be a line judge also at each end of the court to catch those balls that come off the end of the court there.
Michael, I referred to AJ Clark, who is one of the returning players this year. Now, due to a bunch of circumstances we'll get into during the game, AJ was the main sophomore during the summer for Rockville, so you kind of look to a team culture to see when they improved. It was Mafinajad who came in at the end of last year, Coach Mafinajad, and that's really on the players to start building that culture as the coach looks to recruit, get some more players in. It's up to the players who were there when the new coach came, how quickly a team is going to turn around. So if we have a good performance tonight, you have to look to AJ Clark and all the work she did in the background to get this program going.
Well, as you remember, when we talked to Coach Mafinajad, he talked about how she kept calling him and texting him all through the summer, wondering, okay, when are we going to get started? When are we going to do this? When are we going to do that? And she loves playing volleyball.
And it's a testament to her to not leave well enough alone. Last year, she was the best player on this team, and she wanted more talent on the team. She wanted to be able to work harder, improve herself, and improve the players around her. And we'll see the result here in just a couple minutes when we get started with the match.
Which is just about to get underway. There we get a look at Coach Amir Mafinajad. He's talking to his team before we get started. And looks like the huddles are about ready to break. And Arundel is out on the court. And Arundel in the blue. Rockville will be in the black. And of course we see that one player on each team has a different color jersey, and that's the libero.
Right, Michael, the libero, a defensive specialist. She can't have an attacking shot beyond the 4-yard line, the 4-meter line, which is the line that's closer to the net. She can be replaced by players on her team. It's not a substitution. You only get two substitutions per set as a coach, but she can be replaced by a player as long as she subsequently replaces that player when that player rotates to the back line. So you see a lot of attacking players come in for the libero when they come to the front line, and then she'll come back in the back line.
And now for our national anthem.
Michael, we were talking about the libero before the national anthem, and that'd be an interesting subplot for Anne Arundel, whose only quote-unquote substitute. Is there a libero? Should they start with or without her? They usually carry 9 players tonight. Only 7, 6 are on the court at the time. So really you only get a break for whoever the libero is replacing or who she is replaced by.
Well, if this match should go to 5 sets, that could very well make a difference. The gym is warm tonight. If it goes to 5 sets, fatigue could enter into the equation.
And what we've seen so far, Rockville has played a lot more matches so far. They've played in a tournament already. Anne Arundel comes in at 4-1, but they have not had to play long matches, nor have they had to play multiple matches. So we'll see if conditioning is a factor if this does get stretched long.
Well, the Rockville team, as we know, have been working out since the middle of August in earnest. They had an off-season program also with conditioning and club teams and getting together once a week to work on some drills and things. So they're in good shape this year, and I think it's going to make a difference, particularly if this match goes to 5 sets. So we see that Anne Arundel starts with their libero off the court.
Right. That gives Coach McGovern a chance to have her replace any particular player, which gives him more flexibility to have those replacements come in and out. So when you're carrying 7, that's probably the best strategy to start, so you can take players in and out. And here she is replacing a player.
Well, you mentioned Coach McGovern. This is his 2nd year as head coach here at Anne Arundel. And here's a quick look at his career so far, Sean.
Coach McGovern, pretty accomplished guy, has been a player coach and a team rep for USA Volleyball, adult volleyball, so he has a lot of experience in a lot of different aspects in volleyball. Comes in for longtime coach Ramonzo Beans, who really led a lot of success at Anne Arundel, but McGovern, 2 titles in his first season, looking for more this year.
And we're underway. And the Knights, there's Alvarez to Schauhorn. Murphy returns it for Anne Arundel. Alvarez the setter for Rockville. And there's the finesse game there by Schauhorn.
And that's something that she has developed just this year. She has a great power game coming in from high school. And one of the things she really worked on this summer with Coach Mafinajad is using that finesse, dinking it over when necessary.
Yeah, she told me when we talked to her, there's that ties it up for Anne Arundel as Murphy kills it. She told me before, when we were talking before the match, and here we're going to take a quick look at that.
Linda Murphy leads Anne Arundel in kills, so we'll see a lot of that tonight.
That's for sure. There's Moran's tough serve. And Tamira Richardson blocks it back for the point for Anne Arundel.
Asha Brown, a little bit of missed timing. You can see Anne Arundel has a lot of touch on that. Their very first attack was Erica Moran almost setting it over the net behind her head.
There's Moran's serve, deep. Alvarez sets. There's Schauhorn, another finesse shot, but it dug out beautifully by Heidi Rogers.
And Heidi Rogers over 5 digs a set. She's the only player with 5+ digs on a set, so we're going to see her on the ground a lot.
There's Moran's serve again a deep one. Alvarez sets it. And Schauhorn scores with a kill.
It's a big start for Schauhorn so far.
3-2.
Here we see she had the finesse game before, and there's a little bit of the power.
Just a little. Held back a little bit, and right inside the end line, the baseline there. Good serve by Romero. Romero playing libero for Rockville. Stevenson back over to Schauhorn. Alvarez sets again. Brittany St. Louis has it blocked back. Saved by Bosniaka. And point for Anne Arundel.
Nice touch by Lauren Stevens after a big rally there. Just put it where they weren't. Was able to see the court with a nice high bump set.
That is Lauren Stevenson. She's from Chesapeake High School. We've got a lot of players from Chesapeake on this Anne Arundel team. Good serve by Murphy. Schauhorn dinks it over. Alvarez. Good rally here, and that's deep, out.
Good judgment by Rockville there, and that's part of the experience that they have. Last year, someone might have gone for that when it was a ball that was clearly out with a little bit of experience. You can see that going out.
Stoltz in for Bosniaka for Rockville. Stoltz number 14, Kennedy High School, Silver Spring, Maryland.
Now Michelle Alvarez is about to serve for Rockville. I think she has the trickiest serve on Rockville as far as what the opposition has to deal with. It goes pretty high over the net, but it's almost like a pitcher's breaking ball. Has a funny speed and knuckling action. It's a little tough to handle.
Well, let's watch this one. Yeah, you can see the break on it almost. And she's back in the action. There's Romero. They've got to get it over. And we got some miscommunication there with Anne Arundel, it looks like.
A little bit of I got it, you take it. It looks like Anne Arundel likes to attack quickly or get some organization, but when they're stuck betwixt and between there is where they make a couple mental mistakes.
Knotted up at 4 in the first set. There's Alvarez's serve. It's long and out.
And that's big for Anne Arundel, already up 5-4 in the set and rotating Alvarez out of serving for a handful more rotations.
Adrenaline pumping there for Michelle Alvarez. Romero, Alvarez, Schauhorn. And that ties it up at 5. Evenly matched set at this point. Both teams with some good strengths. Here's another look at this. Alvarez.
A little more power from Schauhorn. Gets the best digger on the other team, Heidi Rogers, and handcuffs her.
Jump serve there for Schauhorn, just cleared the net. Alvarez gets it back deep. That was a nice shot. And there's A.J. Clark, and it's in. In, they called it.
Great play by Clark, going cross court. Everybody up at the net to block her right in front. Puts it where no one can get it.
A.J. Clark from Portland, Oregon.
Her husband in the military, they're going to go into the dentistry business together once they're out of school and he's done with his service.
She's a hygienist, he's a dentist. Sounds like a match made in heaven. Another point for Rockville.
Double touch there on Anne Arundel. And Schauhorn is serving here after we see this right here. Got the double touch. Just kind of caught it and threw it back up there.
Tough serve from Schauhorn, hits the ceiling. And another point for Rockville. They're on a bit of a run now.
Anne Arundel 3 times. When it hits the rafters, it's like Tropicana Field. It's in play.
That's right. That's right. It is. There's Schauhorn's jump serve. It's a very tough serve. Alvarez, Schauhorn. Julie Brown for Anne Arundel. Nice dig by Romero.
And a violation there on Rockville.
Point to Anne Arundel. Take a look at this.
So Emily Wolf, we told you, she is deadly. Puts it in a place where they can't handle.
Clark, long. Anne Arundel back into it now, 8-7. Rockville had a 3-point edge there for a moment, but this is a fast-moving game, folks. As we said at the outset, the excitement of women's college volleyball. We've got it here tonight. And there's a net serve, and Rockville will take the serve. Asha Brown back in for Jessica Romero.
Well, with the rally serve, Michael, it's become almost a tennis-type strategy where you just have to be able to score on your serve a few times, and then if you can defend well, play them even up on defense, you're going to win that set.
There's Alvarez. She was too far under.
Also a violation, I think, caught with a little bit of indecision, which is rare for Alvarez. She's sort of the floor general up front as the setter, and has really made the offense a lot better with the decision she's made up front.
Absolutely. She's been playing volleyball since she was in 4th grade. A lot of experience. Of course, this is her first year at the college level. Big difference.
And her first year in America, too.
That's correct. We're going to talk more about that later, but she just moved here 2 months ago, just over 2 months ago from Puerto Rico.
Let's take a look at more of Hunter Schallhorn, who is really dominating the first set here. This time attacking from 4 meters back and handcuffs him again.
Wow, strong. But that serve went out. And 10-9 Knights still in the first set. This is Julie Brown with the serve for Anne Arundel.
And Michael, we're seeing the lack of bench depth for Anne Arundel catch up to them. A lot of frontline players are in the back right now, and they have been unable to dig a lot of these attacking shots that have gone to the back line when players who would usually be subbed out or rotate out during that time have to instead play and play some defense.
A bit of communication problem there for the Knights. A little more of that. I've got it. No, you've got it. There's Asha Brown getting way up.
And that's the first time we called her name, but she is an outstanding athlete, Michael. Probably the best one on Rockville. Just has an excellent vertical.
She can jump, as Coach Mafina Jad says, she can jump out of the gym. And there's a violation. I thought it was a violation on Anne Arundel for a second, but no.
Looks like that is a good kill.
Here's Moran with the serve. To Brown, to Alvarez. Here comes Schallhorn. Off the toe there of Emily Wolf. Here we go again. Take another look.
And they're just making it look easy right now. Tic-tac-toe, bump, set, pass, attack. And they can't dig it out in the back line again.
Look at a very valuable point you made there, Sean, about their lack of depth in the back line is hurting them. Although they're hanging tough, it's tied 12-12.
And similar situation happened there. A.J. Clark playing in the back, usually the middle hitter, and she was called on to dig that ball out, couldn't quite get to it.
Here's Linda Murphy serving. Good strong serve. Alvarez sets for St. Louis.
It's a
point to
violation
Anne
on
Arundel.
St. Louis there. Looks like a lot of players hit the net. Someone had to be called out for it.
Yeah, he could have picked any one of 2 or 3 players there. Nice block by Richardson. St. Louis front line doing an excellent job for Anne Arundel on this rotation. Dinks it over. Clark with a nice dig. There's Richardson blocked by Schallhorn. This is a great rally we've got here. There's Schallhorn, dinks it over, no good. And that time, St. Louis dinks it in.
Fantastic second, third, and fourth effort by St. Louis. Had a block during that rally. Looks like Anne Arundel's going to sneak it over, but instead St. Louis sneaks it right back over.
Brittany St. Louis played her high school volleyball at Paint Branch High School in Silver Spring. Took a year off. She's back, and Coach Mavina said she's working off the rust a little bit. I think the rust is worked off.
It seems so. And again, we have Anne Arundel with kind of their worst rotation. Good personnel on the court, but in places they don't really want. Not great blockers on the net. They're able to jump up, but we saw with the cross-court killing shots and the dinks over there, not creative blockers.
And a little lack of communication there on the Knights' part. And this is the first time that Anne Arundel has led since early in the set, 14-13.
And it's a time for Anne Arundel to attack. They're getting the rotation with the players where they want it.
And Schallhorn comes up with another point. Once again, she went to the finesse. Found the open spot.
And it looks like everywhere she's hitting it is the right spot so far this match.
Very intelligent player. Clark, big kill.
And that's the second time she's won with the cross-court kill. We'll see if Anne Arundel will adjust to it, but 2 excellent shots so far by Amy Clark. This one even more impressive than the first. We thought the first one may have been out. It's the far court from us as well, but that one certainly in a great meaty spot on the court where there's no players.
Schauhorn with the jump serve again. Boy, that's a tough serve to handle, but Rogers does a nice job. Romero got caught by a tough one.
And it speaks to the character of Hunter Schauhorn, who was interested in the jump serve when she was in high school and learned it on her own.
Yeah, she told me she went to camps, she went to clinics. Every time they talked about the jump serve, she made sure she paid attention. She practiced, and now she has full confidence in using it in the match.
And Lauren Stevens with an ace there. Just hits the line as the line judge calls it in.
First of the match for Anne Arundel. Alvarez to Stoltz. Dug out by, whoa, big block there by A.J. Clark.
And that is about as tall as Rockville gets with St. Louis and A.J. Clark at the net. That's intimidation right there.
Boy, that's great blocking play, which is what Coach Mafinajad has been looking for. Been looking for an improvement in that area.
And that's what I talked about when I said creative blocking. They had the timing right, they had the arms up.
It's not all about how high you can jump or how tall you are. It is a lot of timing, anticipation, reading, and reacting.
And in that case, they just interfered with the kill shot. It might have hit the net. It was blocked by an elbow.
(17-16). Rockville on top. Been tight all the way through this first set. St. Louis with the serve. First time we've seen her serve tonight. There's Emily Wolf. Alvarez. Little dink by A.J. Clark.
And that time they were ready for the power from her, so excellent judgment by dinking it over them.
A little bit of a feint there by Asha Brown.
Tell you what, Rockville really has their offense going right now.
They look very, very good. And St. Louis picks up another point on the serve, and there's timeout on the court. The Knights holding a 3-point edge here in the first set of the match, 19-16.
Michael, you said that Brittany St. Louis was looking to shake off the rust, and certainly looks like she has. We saw her in the second match of the season, looked a little bit lost on the court, frankly, and now she has great court presence, has really made some key impact points for the Knights in the set.
All right, Sean, you know, we've been talking about Amir Mafinajad all match long, and this is his second year as head coach here at Montgomery College, and here's a look at his volleyball career so far.
Well, he played for the University of Oregon club team. He was also on an undefeated high school team, so he has seen kind of the highs and lows of volleyball, going through last season at Rockville, having a great time with the team, building something, but not getting a lot of wins. And the thing that I really respect about him is when you know the sport, when you have a passion for the sport, and you are just a natural coach, doesn't matter really what your record is. You're the same guy, you're the same coach, and you see he has a very similar approach this year. He knows he has a higher expectation for the team. The players have said he's been a little more intense, but they said he's needed to be a little more intense. So he's a guy who could coach any amount of talent. You know, but in the college basketball ranks, people always say, well, Coach Krzyzewski at Duke could only coach talented players. I might beg to differ with that. He's an excellent coach, but you can see, put him on a bad team, he might not be quite as good. Mafinajad, a lot of talent or a little bit, he gets the most out of him.
Good save there by Asha Brown. Point to the Knights, 2017. As Brown and Romero did a nice job of saving it, and on the play before that. Clark with the serve. Another nice block by that Asha Brown, A.J. Clark duo. Whoa. And that'll be definitely a point for Anne Arundel. Tamara Richardson coming in for Wolf for Anne Arundel. Stoltz out, and Boznakaya back in for Rockville.
Janie Boznayaka, someone who really gets all over the court. See her diving for a lot of digs.
Very versatile player. Mafinajad can put her almost anywhere out there.
And that was a case where she wanted to take that dig, and A.J. Clark kind of backed up on it instead. Bosniaka tried to call her off, wasn't quite quick enough with that call, kind of like an outfielder when you're on the back line. If you can dig the ball, you're going to call the front line off because you have a much better angle on it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then, of course, you want to be able to set up your front line with the dig. So we've got a tight set going here. Timeout on the court, 20-19. Rockville in front, of course. The sets, the first four, it's a 5-set format. The first set, 4 sets, go to 25, win by 2. If there is a 5th and deciding set, it's to 15, also win by 2. There's no limit to the points. You could go to 1,000 to 998. You have to win by 2.
That's how it is, Michael, and that guarantees that you generally either have to be on a good offensive run or win the ball back and get a point, much like in the volleyball tradition. Before they had the rally serve, they had the side outs, which really made for some very long sets.
Alvarez. Murphy, that time Murphy went to the finesse.
Looks like these teams are feeling each other out, starting to see where they can attack. A lot of good offense being played, and the defense has to pick it up to balance out this match.
Alvarez, Schauhorn from deep. Boy, that was an impossible shot for Anne Arundel to deal with.
And it's surprising, Michael. Heidi Rogers leads the team in digs, but it looks like they are attacking at her. Now, whether it's hitting it to a spot on the court or singling out a player, it's both things that you want to try to do, either get a good matchup or obviously just space on the court that you see you can hit it to.
There's Murphy with a kill.
Now, no one's digging that one out.
No. And, of course, Rogers, who just left the court again to be replaced by Stevenson, she's the only returner from last year's team. But, interestingly enough, she was not the libero last year.
No, and I think having that experience is what earned her that position.
Alvarez, beautiful set to Schauhorn, but a nice block by Richardson.
A little frustration push at the net by Schauhorn there. Excellent block. Anne Arundel set up in their front line now with players that they really want to have up there.
Yeah, this is the front line they want. They want Moran serving. She's their best server. And that's in. They call it in. That ties it up at 22.
And this is just going to come down to strength versus strength. A.J. Clark in the back line for Rockville, but they have one of their best servers behind the line here in Jessica Romero.
Jessica Romero played at Quince Orchard High School. She's a criminal justice major.
And Coach Mafinajad, as we saw, also the coach for the boys at Quince Orchard. So this is a player he got to see and was very excited that she was coming to Rockville.
Quick point there for Rockville off that difficult serve. Got another timeout on the floor. And while we have this opportunity, we'd like to mention that this game is also available for viewing on the Montgomery College YouTube channel. Go to the Montgomery College YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/Montgomery College, and there you'll find numerous links to MCTV programs, including the locker room and past soccer, basketball, baseball, and volleyball games. You can also view lots of other shows that we produce, like State of the Arts and many more. And you can also view this match and many other Montgomery College events on MC's podcast directory. It's fun, it's easy to use. To check out MC Podcasts, visit www.podcast.montgomerycollege.edu. And there you'll find lots of podcasts about athletics, college news, college events, and much, much more.
And what a thrill, Michael. I don't care what level of athletics you play at. When you get to be on TV, it's a fun time. So kudos to these players for giving us what's an excellent match so far on our TV game of the season for volleyball.
That's for sure. That is for sure. And, of course, with it being on YouTube and podcast, they can watch it anytime, anywhere.
Right, these exist forever. They can show family and friends years from now.
That's right. You know what they say, once it's on the internet, it's always on the internet. Tied up at 23, Murphy serving. We are down to it here in the first set. Schauhorn gets the point right through the hands of Stevens, who looks at her coach like, ooh, I just missed it.
And that's where it was. She had the block set up, just didn't have a solid arm on that, just snuck it through with the power.
A lot of power there by Schauhorn.
And here's Alvarez with the tricky serve.
This could be the set point here. We've got Alvarez serving, which Nafina has got to like.
He's got A.J. Clark back up front for blocking.
Think over, up, and we are going to exceed 25 points in this set because we're now tied at 24, remember?
Like you said, Michael, we are on our way to 999 to 1,000.
Rogers serving for Anne Arundel. Schauhorn, Alvarez, St. Louis. We got a whistle.
Looks like she forced a violation.
Who's the violation
Or
against?
no, she had a violation herself.
So that gives the edge in the set, 25-24 to Anne Arundel.
Looks like she just got a piece of the net.
Yeah. Schauhorn, tough serve. Alvarez found a good spot. Gonna have to be a deep one. Tied up again. Alvarez returned. Somehow she found that back corner over her head.
And that's always good judgment by the setter as we see the result of that play. Erica Moran started this set for Anne Arundel trying to get a little bump just over the net.
Great serve there by Schauhorn. Great serve.
And here's the second set point possibility for Rockville.
26-25.
Schauhorn averages 1 ace per set, and that was a great time to meet her average right there.
Boy, that's for sure. Hunter Schauhorn, Blake High School. There it is. And it hits the ceiling, and Rockville wins the first set, 27-25. And let's take a quick look at that final point there.
The key here was the downward trajectory. Had to be dug way up there, and once it hit the rafters, that was the second time Anne Arundel's been snake bit on this set with the, I suppose, low ceiling, even though it's pretty high up, giving Rockville the advantage. And
that's the end of our first set. Rockville coming out on top, 27-25. We'll be right back with an interview with Rockville Athletic Director Veronica Franklin, and then the start of the second set after this. Welcome back to the Rockville campus of Montgomery College in Rockville, Maryland. And Sean and I are pleased to welcome in the athletic director for the Rockville campus, Veronica Franklin. Thanks for joining us, Veronica.
Thank you so much, Mike. Nice to be here. I'm glad to be back for another year here at Rockville.
Veronica, all the fall sports in full swing. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on with all the sports on campus?
I'm always excited to do this interview. I mean, last year was the first time, but this year is more exciting because I got to see I didn't get to come in at the beginning of volleyball last year, but this year I watched our recruiting over the summer. This year for fall, the best thing is that we had a program in the summer that prepared us for the fall. Volleyball did a camp this summer, so they brought in some new kids from the camp, and we also brought in some high school kids that are in the area, which is feeding into our Rockville campus program. So I'm really excited about the fact that we can recruit kids in the summer, get them prepared in the fall, and now they're here playing in the fall season in volleyball. They're 500, which is great, and I think our 2 wins that we've had are against Division II schools, so that's pretty impressive for our volleyball team since they're mostly freshmen. For women's soccer, we're ranked #1, and I'm sure a lot of people are gunning for us now, so it's always a good spot to be in. It's tough being #1. We had a couple of injuries. We had a kid that had some stitches. We had a couple that were shin splints and some minor injuries, but overall women's soccer is doing really well. The other one is men's soccer. Men's soccer ended up on a sour note last year. We went to the regions up in New Jersey, and a couple of our kids were crying afterwards. 18-year-old young man were crying over that loss because we really were so close to going to nationals last year. I think Barack and Mucho are 2 kids that are coming back this year, and they're really hungry to go to nationals this year. So those 3 sports right now, women's tennis, again, they were champions in 01 and 06. They're on the road. They're planning to go back again to the national championship. So fall sports is in full spring. Full swing.
Well, Veronica, you've been here now just about a year, been running the program. Taking a look at the overall program, what accomplishments are you most proud of, and what can we look for in the near future? What's on the horizon?
The biggest accomplishments we were able to do was get the floor redone. If you have a chance to look at the floor, even come out when people come out to our games. The floor is a new emblem of the Knights. We're trying to rejuvenate that history that we've had here as a Rockville being a powerhouse in athletics. So we did the floor, which looks great. We're trying to get some more people on the community to help us out with our community on the soccer field. So those are 2 things on the horizon, the soccer field and to improve even the second gym floor. But overall, we're really proud of the gym floor. And the last thing I think is that people in the media have already put out there that we have a $50,000 grant coming in for men's soccer. So those are things that we're proud of. We're happy that they're part of, going to be part of our program for the future. And that's just where we are now. We're looking to expand even more sports in the fall of next year. There's kids that are interested in wrestling and in ice hockey. So we're always looking to, improve the sports here, get more sports, get as much as possible, and get every kid a chance to get out there and participate.
Well, sign me up for Zamboni driver.
Zamboni driver, got one already over here. Great.
He would do a fine job, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Veronica, thanks so much for taking out the time to come and talk to us in between sets here. We really appreciate it. Continued good luck here. Sean and I will be right back with the second set action after this quick break. And welcome back to the Rockville campus of Montgomery College. We're just about ready to start the second set of action. But Sean, it sure was nice to get a chance to talk to Rockville Athletic Director Veronica Franklin. You got to love her enthusiasm.
Absolutely, Michael. I'm a big believer in an organization can only rise to the level of its top. And with Veronica in charge, the limits of Rockville are basically nil. And we can see with the #1 team so far, teams going to districts and regions, and Veronica, just leave the keys in the ignition of the Zamboni. I am on top of it.
I believe she'll let you do it. If she's been, on a personal level, she's been wonderful for MCTV to work with. She's very appreciative of the things we do, and we're very appreciative of the things that she does for us. So we're back to action. Rockville won the first set, 27-25, and we're underway in set number 2.
Michael, so far it's been offense, offense, offense. If either team can really establish their defense, I think they have a chance to really run away with one of these sets.
I agree with you. There's Schallhorn put one back up in the rafters again.
Yeah, and with a match this tight so far, this is the 3rd time that Anne Arundel's had a ball that's been caught in the rafters, which is just a tough thing to play. You don't practice for that.
No, you sure don't. I mean, we watched a lot of volleyball matches last year and this year, and I can only recall just 1 or 2 balls going into the rafters. We've already had 3 tonight.
I think you're right that we just saw the one, and Jessica Romero with an early ace.
Jessica Romero from Quince Orchard High School really solidified that libero position. And we got a violation. Point to Anne Arundel.
And just cupping her hand a little bit is Alvarez.
Right.
Very tightly but fairly called match by our chair judge so far.
And that could not be dug out. Once again, our officials are, our first official, as they're called in the volleyball world, is Kevin Sipple. The second official, Don Wu. First official is up on the ladder. Second official is down on court level. A lot of great saves there by Anna Arundel. St. Louis dug out there. Murphy hits the post pretty hard.
Yeah, excellent offense just to get it over by Anna Arundel the first time. And I think that's the first misstep that Murphy's had on offense. She's had a very good game by the net.
Very solid. Tessa Stoltz comes in. Alvarez serving. She did a fine job of that in the first set. Michelle Alvarez moved to the United States just 2 months ago from Puerto Rico. True. It is a territory of the United States.
Well, moving to the U.S. proper, Michelle, bilingual, spoke Spanish primarily in school, but her mom, an English teacher, so she had English at one class per day and spoke some English at home as well. And really a fun person to talk to when we were able to chat with her before the game. She was able to assimilate in the team culture. She said she's not the most social person, but the chemistry of the team kind of brought her out of her shell, and she certainly, as the setter, needs to be someone who is a leader on the team, so they've really responded to her personality as well. A great match of both team and individual for Alvarez.
When she told me she wasn't ordinarily a social person, I didn't believe it, because the person I was talking to that day was so vibrant and so excited about volleyball.
I think she's one of those extroverts who thinks she's an introvert, perhaps.
Well, she's a great communicator on the court. Really take charge. Another nice block by St. Louis and Schauhorn together. Alvarez, St. Louis gets it back over. Murphy with a killer, but saved by Alvarez.
Double touch by Stoltz.
5-3. Rockville up by 2 in the early going. Set number 2. Rockville leading 1-0. There's Murphy's tough serve. And they call that one out. And we're getting a little complaint from the Anne Arundel bench. They thought that one was in.
That is a tough call. Looked like it might have hit in.
Boy, I thought it was in, frankly. But I don't have the angle that the officials do.
But interestingly, it's the furthest of any official. The line judge on that side is on the far corner for that ball.
So really, the second official here had to make that call.
Schauhorn with another ace, meanwhile.
Oh, that time she whacked it into the net.
Got a little greedy there.
Tried to get a little too fancy with that one, I think. 7-4. Rockville on top. Heidi Rogers with the serve. That's a good, tough serve. Alvarez to St. Louis. Dug out there by Stevens. Romero. Alvarez. Romero. A lot of communication out there. You can hear them talking. St. Louis digs it out. Alvarez. And that is in.
Great job by Alvarez and Jessica Romero. We talked about at the open of this, the libero can't make an attacking hit beyond the 4-meter line. Made the first attack right behind it and was able to set up the return and offense. Great job by Alvarez for the kill.
Nice block there by Clark and Brown. There's Brown, gets it over off of Emily Wolf.
And, you know, we really haven't called Asha Brown's name a lot, but I like whenever Asha Brown is paired with somebody at the net, there's an excellent block opportunity. We've seen some games where Asha Brown is paired with Janie Basnayaka, two of the smallest players on the team and one of the most effective blocking pairs on the team. So I think the key is whenever you have Brown paired with someone, so Brown with A.J. Clark, an excellent blocker herself, that's a dynamic duo at the net.
Well, we know the leaping ability of Asha Brown. We saw it last year, and you know, she did not play over the summer. She thought she was going to be going to Towson. She's a pre-med major, and it turned out that the classes that she needed to take were filled, so she has to wait until the spring semester. But that was a happy accident for Amir Mafinajad because he was able to bring her back for another season.
It really was. Asha Brown, a little bit of victim of timing. Towson actually committing a great deal to their medical program as part of the expansion of the university. And really, if you want a 4-year education in Maryland, no better choice than Towson University. But we could see with the interviews with Asha Brown just the fact that she personally seemed to come out of her shell a lot more. And it's really fun to see someone develop from a freshman to a sophomore personality-wise. And we can see on the court, her presence is just so much more now.
So let me get this straight. You believe that Towson is the finest educational institution in Maryland? Is that what I'm hearing, Sean?
The finest four-year. I really can't quibble with what Montgomery College, Rockville, or Germantown, for that matter, bring to the table. Or Tacoma Park, Silver Spring.
We're talking 4-year here.
Yes.
Yes. Moran to Brown. And point to Rockville, who holds a nice 11-5 lead.
And Julie Brown been frustrated so far. Hasn't had a lot of opportunities to attack. It looks like she doesn't have much of a rhythm thus far.
Put that right into the block there. Stoltz tries to save it, no luck. 11-6 now. Moran with a nice hit from the back.
Looks like she's really asserting herself in this set.
And nice try there at the dig by Brown and Alvarez. Couldn't come up with it.
And Julie Brown for Anne Arundel, that might be what she needs to get going. Good block there. Almost like taking a layup in basketball. You need something good to happen for you, and she might be able to get it going on the offensive end.
Schauhorn, big one. And they couldn't dig it out again. So what was a 6-point margin has quickly dissolved down to 3.
Looks like Anne Arundel is just finding their rhythm.
Slow start in this set. Nice dig out there. And that is in. Big kill for Murphy.
I think whenever you get Linda Murphy close to the net like that, it's a point for the Pioneers.
She is very powerful.
And we've seen that so far with both teams. Linda Murphy really carrying Anne Arundel's offense, and then when either A.J. Clark or Schauhorn get in that similar position right in front of the net, they've scored almost every time.
Yeah, it's almost a sure thing point.
But really that's a function of the team effort. You have to be able to get your best players in position to attack right at the net. We've seen a lot of attacking shots that have happened around the 4-meter line, and that's either not being able to dig correctly or you had a kill attempt from the other team that just made it difficult for you to set up your own offense.
Right. All right, we're back out on the court. Front line for Rockville is going to be Alvarez, Brown, and Clark. That's pretty good. And for Anne Arundel, it's going to be Brown, Moran, and Murphy. They've got to like that.
Looks like strength versus strength. And Emily Wolf has emerged as a very good server in this set with 4 points in a row for Anne Arundel.
Yeah, she's been tough. There's Clark with the big hit. Boy, she almost knocked Murphy down.
And that's what we were just talking about. Put A.J. Clark right next to the net.
And her kills have come from the outside hitter position tonight. Moran over to Brown. Saved by Brown. They got to get it over. Alvarez does. Moran. And that's Murphy. She's definitely the offensive star for Anne Arundel.
Nice shot right there. And Michael, that was a good point that A.J. Clark, a lot of her attacks have come from the outside. Playing some middle hitter this year, but played outside last year. Gets a lot of shots from there. And the main attack for Anne Arundel comes from the outside hitters as well.
13-10 Rockville. Romero serving. We'll see the jump serve here. Big jump serve. There's Murphy. Boy, that was a sort of a misdirection play there. Sorry, that was Julie Brown.
And it looks like much like Rockville was attacking some weak spots in the back line. When A.J. Clark is in the back line, she's really the only player on Rockville who's not proficient playing both ways on the court. You don't want to put her in a position to have to dig even though she's able. You'd rather have other players on Rockville digging that out.
Moran, tough serve to the back corner. Alvarez, Schauhorn. And that's out, and that's a point for Rockville. 14-11. Schauhorn has hardly missed tonight, Sean.
No, she has been on offensively. And that was a big point for Rockville. Not only does Alvarez get to serve, but Clark is one rotation closer to moving to the front. You saw on the last point, Rockville rotated 3 players back in addition to Clark to help out with the dig.
Alvarez serve goes out. And Murphy now serving. That's not where they really want her, although she's a good server.
Yeah, she has a scoring touch from back there, as that one was pretty tough to handle.
Schauhorn, and that's off Moran for the point.
That was a little bit of everything from Schauhorn. Got the dig and the kill.
Well, she can do it all. Let's take a look at it.
We didn't get to see the touch from Alvarez. Gave her perfect timing to run up under it before the defense could get set.
And that is out. Point to Rockville. Schauhorn with the jump serve. Boy, it's a tough serve. Has a real downward angle to it, but Arundel picks up the point when Jessica Romero can't quite come up with it.
No, sneaky play there by Tamira Richardson on Arundel. Handcuffed the back line right there.
Wolf on the serve. She's got a tough serve too. Clark. Kind of held back on the power that time. Stoltz.
Looks like a net violation on Stoltz.
Yep, she was over the center line. That was quite clear.
And Rockville's given away a few points with some net violations and center line violations tonight.
That's about 3 or 4, at least. Clark with a tough shot. And it's in. We'll take another look at that one, Sean.
Stoltz makes up for her mistake with a great pass, because whenever you get A.J. Clark there, it's a point.
It's been automatic tonight. Brittany St. Louis with the serve. Stevenson. Alvarez, beautiful set. Clark got blocked that time.
And Alvarez pointing at herself, she hit it a little bit too tall for Clark, who had to reach back. There was only one place that she could attempt to kill. Anna Arundel knew that, was able to set up their block beautifully.
And she probably lost a little power as a result of the higher set. Oh, nice save by Romero. Wow, great play on a tough shot from Murphy. There's Wolf, Stoltz, Clark. Nice rally going here. Brown, nice block.
And that's the defensive stand we were talking about, Michael. That might be one of the difference-making points in this set.
Brown, Clark again there. The duo. Great chemistry on this Rockville team. And they can't come up with it, can't get it over. Tried to dig it out of the net a couple of times.
And that's one of those cases of the blockers influencing the next point. And when you get a block or a great spike kill, it's obviously empowering for your team, demoralizing for the other. It looks like there was a little hangover point for that. And when you're down 19-15 now, and Arundel can't give away a point like that, good timeout to calm down the troops from Coach McGovern.
Well, that's exactly what he's doing. We've heard some noise coming from their bench. They've been a little upset about some of the line calls. And you could see some frustration on the players' faces there the last couple of points. So I think it was a good timeout call from McGovern.
So Michael, as we said, Anna Arundel, a bunch of new players, but they have the expectation that they're going to be one of the best teams in Maryland JUCO. Rockville, on the other hand, is building something here, and they're coming to play every match. You know, no one can really sleep on them. We see the results of this. Anna Arundel playing a good match, not one of their best matches, but they're paying for it. They're very close to being down 0-2.
Rockville smiling as they come out on the court. Tessa Stoltz will be serving. Tessa went to Kennedy High School in Silver Spring, Maryland. There's her serve. And another nice block there. 20-15 now. This is becoming a deciding advantage here, but it's not anywhere near over.
No, but you can start to see some of the body language on Anne Arundel, shoulders sagging a little bit. They need something good to happen for them to get going.
Now they got to get it over, and they do. Set up for Wolf, and there's a lack of communication there.
And that might just be the break that they need.
Get right back into it.
And Emily Wolf, who looked a little bit worried after the last point, had two kill attempts there, including the actual kill.
Yeah, she was the one I was kind of looking at as the one who was reacting kind of negatively to what was going on the court. She has a very expressive face.
But now
that point may have helped her.
And now serving.
She's got a good serve. Alvarez with quick hands to get that back over. Set for Clark. She dinks it over, and lo and behold, they find a point. That was an unconventional point, to say the least, Sean.
Looks like creative offense, and Coach McGovern thinks that it's a double hit, but looks like it was above the board there. Just unexpected. The two power players using some finesse for Rockville.
There's Murphy. There's power. But it was saved nicely by Clark.
Michael, I take it back. That's one of the best digs of the match so far. So maybe you do want A.J. Clark back there digging it out.
Boy, nice play there by Asha Brown to get that over. This is a nice rally that we've got going there. There's Schauhorn, and that's a big point for Rockville.
And I think that's the difference, Michael. All the big points have been going Rockville's way. Great kill here, and then two players going for the set. No one's left to get the next hit.
22-17 Rockville. We're in the second set. Rockville won the first set, 27-25. There's Brown, and she finesses it over into the open space. I think we're really seeing the effect of Amir Mafinajad's coaching here, Sean.
Definitely, Michael. The practice being together, the ability to think the game is really making a difference.
There's a beautiful kill there by Linda Murphy.
And Linda Murphy is trying to take this set on her shoulders. We saw the bad of that in the previous point where she tried to dig a ball that she shouldn't dig. And here's the good where she has a great kill.
Julie Brown serving. She's got the jump serve. Good one. Schauhorn sets. They dink it over. And that's another point. Linda Murphy.
You can tell she's one of the driving forces on Anne Arundel. She does not want her team to go down 0-2 here, and she's going to do everything that she can to prevent that from happening.
Very intense. There's and they call that out. Boy, that was close. We waited for that one. Thought we might have an ace there. Here's Romero, 24-19. This could be set point for Rockville. Romero on the serve. Good one. Moran, here comes Murphy, dug out beautifully by Clark. And unfortunately, it just ticked off Janie Basnayaka.
We talked about the coaching of Coach Mafinajad. He was talking to his players about decision making, and the worst decision you can make on the court is making none, and that's where Basnayaka was. She thought about digging it and then relented.
Schauhorn finds the open spot, and that is the set. Rockville takes the second set, 25-20, and we're going to take a quick look at that replay before we go to break. Finesse again.
Schauhorn set up, really had a lot of court to play with. Could have used the power or the finesse. Made a great move right there.
Had her choice, and that's the end of the second set. The final score, 25-20 Rockville. After 2 sets, they lead 2-0. We'll be right back with more volleyball action at Montgomery College after this short break.
I I love playing volleyball, and I really thought last year was going to be my last time playing ever. So I wanted to get more focused on my academics. But returning I'm actually really happy because I love playing volleyball and playing with really nice group of girls, and we're working hard, and I'm just excited about the season.
And welcome back to Courtside on the Rockville campus of Montgomery College. We're about to begin the third set of our match between Montgomery College and Arundel Community College. And Sean, as we listen to Rockville outside hitter Asha Brown, there's no doubt that she's really excited to be back and pumped up about this season.
Absolutely, Michael. And Coach Mafinejad said he teases her, wondering where did this improvement come from. She didn't intend to be able to play here this season, so really didn't participate in the off-season practices. But you can see she's really developed as a player, developed as her maturity. It might be that old axiom that coaches joke about. The best thing about freshmen is that they become sophomores.
Well, she's a phenomenal athlete. As we've seen already tonight, her jumping ability, her timing, her power. And she's only 5'5". It's not like she's one of these women that's 6 feet tall out here on the volleyball court. She's only 5'5", but she's got tremendous leaping ability.
She wants to be an orthopedic surgeon, and she has firsthand experience of the dynamics of the spring in the feet and how that work with the way that she moves around the court.
Pre-med major. As a matter of fact, this is a team filled with excellent students.
Which is really par for the course at Rockville.
It sure is. Romero, Alvarez, there's Brown. Saved by Wolf, and there's Murphy. We were talking at the break about the intensity of Linda Murphy for Anne Arundel, and you made a great point, Sean.
Yeah, it looks like she started to do this at the end of the second set, but she is going to do everything she can to keep Anne Arundel in this match. Obviously down 0-2, they have to win this set to stay alive. If they set her up offensively, she might have 20 kills this set. If she has to dig a lot of balls out of position, she might be part of the problem for Anne Arundel.
Alvarez, Brown, Richardson, a nice save. There's Schauhorn. Good save by Wolf. There's Murphy. You're not going to stop that.
And that is excellent leadership. You could hear her talking to the setter in that point, Moran, of where to put it and to get it to her. It's as long as I'm spouting out all the axioms here, the great players demand the ball, and that was the way to do it. Tell the setter where she wants it, and she puts it away for the point.
Volleyball is a big communication sport. There's a lot of talking that goes on out there on the court. It's not trash talking. It's team talking. It's where you want the ball. I'm here. I'm there. I've got it. A lot of that. There's Schauhorn.
And this goes off the block out of bounds, which is why it's Rockville's point.
2-1. Romero, who served the winning point in the second set, is back out there to serve here. There's Murphy. This time she goes the finesse game. And she kind of looks like, well, I think I fooled him on that one.
Yeah, and I guess when you've been pounding them with kills for 2 sets, you can get away with a couple of those.
Linda Murphy. Good serve. Schauhorn, Alvarez. Here comes Schauhorn.
And a rare misfire from Schauhorn so far, so things could be turning here a little bit.
Just missed the outstretched arms of Lauren Stevens. Murphy with another serve, another tough one. Romero, Alvarez, we have a whistle. And a violation on Rockville, out of position.
Amir Mafinejad none too happy with that.
No, he doesn't like giving away points, and Anne Arundel is out to a 5-1 lead, which he also doesn't like. That is out, point to Rockville.
And here's part of the growing experience of becoming an improving team. You're up 2-0, where's that killer instinct?
Yeah, this is what Coach Mafinejad would like to see. He doesn't want to see a 5-set marathon here. He'd like to see a 3-set sweep. He doesn't want Anne Arundel to think, oh, we can creep back into this. Because creep back in it they can. All it takes is 1 set here, then all of a sudden it's 2-1.
Now let's credit the Pioneers, as Tamira Richardson has an excellent spike right there. They're really playing their best set so far.
Tamira Richardson from Annapolis. Elementary Ed Major. Here's Heidi Rogers with the serve. Romero. Alvarez. Stoltz finds the open spot on the floor. And Schauhorn will be serving for Rockville. Here's this.
Nice job by Stoltz there. Just was able to punch it and the hole in the defense.
Schauhorn with a tough serve. Wow. And that was a tough serve.
Really was tough to handle it. Something gives me the feeling, I'm hoping we get to see it today, that Heidi Rogers has kicked the ball over the net before, because she's tried to dig it with her feet a couple times, which is perfectly legal in volleyball.
I have never seen that before, and that's an ace for Rockville.
Well, what's the way to get back to even in the set? Get yourself an ace.
Schauhorn at serve.
And that's really a dimension that Rockville had lacked in the past. It's almost like having a good strikeout pitcher in baseball.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the biggest improvements on this team this year is the serving. Oh, she caught that ball. Number 15, Lauren Stevens, cupped that ball quite clearly with two hands.
And she's chuckling about it. That's about as big as a mistake as she'll ever let herself have on the volleyball court. Uncharacteristic.
Schauhorn eases up on that one. Good attack there by Emily Wolf for the point.
And Wolf, an efficient player. We said at the beginning, she's the one who has a hitting efficiency of 40%, which means that 40% of the time she hits it, they're going to score.
Schauhorn with a tough one. Murphy fights it off, and that's out. Another point for Rockville. They've brought it even. Keep in mind, it was 5-1 just moments ago. And Arundel, it's now 7-7. And another point for Rockville. Tide has turned again.
And here's another issue with Anne Arundel having the short bench. This is really a chance where Lauren Stevens might need to sit down for a second. Just a little bit down on herself, a couple mistakes in a row. 3 mistakes in a row now with a bad dig there, but she can't get out of the game right now.
No, and you can see it in her face. She's not happy with herself.
And she's a good player. You know, it's one of those situations where you sit down, cool off, and get right back in. But now it's on a freshman to be able to have the mental toughness to be able to dig herself out of that hole while still playing.
And another point for Rockville. They are on a run. 10-7 now, Rockville.
Well, again, they have Anne Arundel pinned deep there. Linda Murphy not where they want her to be on the back line.
That's for sure. Brittany St. Louis with the serve. And that almost hits the rafters again. Stevenson gets it across. Schauhorn finds the open spot for the point. Rockville on a big run now, leading 11-7.
And speaking of mental toughness, we talked about that killer instinct. Coach McGovern needs to take a timeout to stop this Tide from rolling.
Well, while we have this timeout, you know, Sean, one of the great things about working here at Montgomery College Television is we get the opportunity to work with many of the students in the television program here at the college. And as a matter of fact, we couldn't do a game like today without students serving valuable roles on our crew. And today we have a number of current and former students helping us out. We've got Garrett Quinn. We've got Corey Wallace. Where's Corey? There's Corey. Thomas DeVita, Tommy the Gun we call him, right next to him. We've got Big Ed Clark over there, maybe the biggest Redskins fan in all of America, Ed Clark right there. Danielle Stesky is one of our students, and we're going to find her there in a second. There's Steve Burdett. Right behind him is Alex Marquez, and right down there against the wall is Shannon Sparks. And there's Danielle, last but certainly not least. So it's a great thing that we get to do here is we get to work with the students in the television program. It's a wonderful experience.
Absolutely, Michael. And some of these former students are professionals in the area that you know, they're working in the major broadcasts in the area. Redskins, Orioles, Washington Nationals, all the professional teams. So the experience that they got here in Montgomery College has been a difference maker for their careers.
And there's a great point there by Asha Brown, just putting a little change up over the net there. 11-9. Block. Clark. Wolf digs it, but Moran can't come up with it.
Nice block there by Anne Arundel, but a great second effort by A.J. Clark.
Yeah, she got up there. And here's Tessa Stoltz on the serve. Murphy gets it over. That's going to be a tough one, and they just can't dig it out. Good effort by both teams there.
Now Anne Arundel has Linda Murphy back up front, only down 2. So here's a chance where they can really cut into that lead and maybe take the lead while they have the ball.
Julie Brown on the serve. And there's a point. Tough. 12-11. Rockville ahead 2-0. There's the serve, Romero to Alvarez to Schauhorn. Good block there by Richardson for the point. And that knots it up at 12.
Looks like all the players are starting to step up now, not just Murphy, but every player is sort of taking their own initiative to get back in this game for the Pioneers.
Alvarez to Clark, that's long. Rockville calling for a partially touched ball there, but they didn't get the call. As Julie Brown's on quite a roll here in the serve position. Clark, and that's going to be long again. Just shows you how quickly the momentum in a set can change, Sean.
It really does, and this has been the most emotional set. Anne Arundel twice and Rockville twice have both looked like they're going to run away with this thing, and now Rockville gets it back down only 1.
After a nice run there by Julie Brown at the serving position, here's A.J. Clark serving for Rockville. And Murphy gets down low but can't elevate it.
That is a veteran play by A.J. Clark. She served it as soon as the whistle blew. I don't think Anne Arundel was ready to return it.
I don't think so either. They have 8 seconds to serve it once the serve is called.
And generally it's a time for you to reset your own side and take a breath, but as soon as she could, A.J. Clark put it up. There's still a point for Rockville. Important now that we have
Moran, who's done a good job at serving. 15-14, Anne Arundel. Romero. Murphy. And what's the call?
It's a violation.
On Anne Arundel. Into the net, I believe. I'm not sure what that violation was.
I don't know if I saw that. The ball was served into the net. I guess maybe it never went over. So Anne Arundel never really changed possession to the other side of the net.
Wow, there's a killer ace there by Jessica Romero. Boy, that hit the back corner.
And she has been clutch at the service line this match.
16-15 Knights. Romero. Another tough one. There's Richardson. St. Louis got it back over. That was not a double hit. It was a block and then a hit. And Schauhorn with another kill.
And Schauhorn is just unflappable.
She has rarely made a mistake tonight.
You know what? She smells blood when she can get a good kill, get a good spike attempt.
Romero with another tough serve. Although I think if Wolf had a double hit there, I think if Wolf had let that go, that would have been out.
Yeah, a little bit of a mental error there, but that was close to the line. And
she made the decision.
With a lot of close line calls this game, that gets into your head. You know, you have to play the ball and not let the referee make the call for you.
There's Romero. Stevenson, who seems to have gotten righted her ship after a couple of tough plays in the second set. There you see Alvarez talking to Brittany St. Louis, the more experienced player talking to the less experienced player.
But being a good leader, Alvarez taking responsibility for a poor set right there.
Yep, she is a leader out there on the court. They've got several. There's Schauhorn again.
And when you watch Schauhorn with the time leading up to it, much like her counterpart Linda Murphy on the other ends, can smell the point as soon as the ball is going to get anywhere near her.
And excellent timing. Timing is phenomenal by both these power players. Here's Alvarez, good server. Oh, she doesn't deliver that time.
And we came into the match expecting Alvarez to score a lot of points from the service line, and she's been about average, has one of her hands taped up, which might be affecting her, but Schauhorn and Jessica Romero have really stepped up for Rockville.
And that serve went out there by Linda Murphy. She's not happy about that.
No, and the Knights 5 points from capturing this match. She really can't afford to just turn the ball over there.
Here's Schauhorn with the serve, jump serve, tough one. Wolf, Moran, they do get it over. There's the set. Nice save dig by Alvarez. Gonna have to hustle. They get it over. Great save. Alvarez to St. Louis, to Clark, who somehow managed to stay on her side of the line. But they couldn't quite come up with it. Alvarez talking.
A lot of good hustle on both ends there. Anne Arundel really had to extend themselves. A lot of players playing where they're least comfortable, able to gut out that point.
Couple of instances of near points there for Rockville. Good block there by Wolf. Knights get it over. There's Julie Brown. Alvarez setting for Clark. Wolf. And that's up in the rafters. Boy, good effort there by Romero. Could not come up with it.
And the first time Rockville's been victimized by the Raptors, but really the kill shot's so good. I think even if it was dug up into the regular ceiling area, that would have been a point for Anne Arundel.
Well, we've got timeout on the court, and it's 20-19 with Rockville holding on to a 1-point edge here. We're in set number 3. Rockville leads 2-0. They won the first set 27-25 and the second set 25-20.
And right now it looks like it's Anne Arundel's set to lose. They have the momentum, they have the serve next, and they really have the motivation. You rarely see the 3-set sweep between two good teams just because that desperation sets in. You know, we'll see how it plays out here. With the 1-point advantage, Rockville obviously with a chance to put it away as well.
And of course, this is an Anne Arundel program that's used to winning. They are not used to getting swept 3-0, especially by an up-and-coming program.
Exactly. Looking at Anne Arundel's record last year, and I think even when you turn over players, the success carries over. And Anne Arundel, we saw Howard County Community College in here last year. We thought they were the class of Maryland JUCO. Anne Arundel 3-0 against them, including the decisive matches of the district and the regional titles.
That's right. They went to the Nationals on the backs of beating Howard. Boy, there's a good serve there. Rockville comes up with it. Good block. Schauhorn, Alvarez. Here comes Clark. Good save by Murphy. And that is out. Point to Rockville. Knights now up 21-19. Emily Wolf just missed it. Brittany St. Louis, Murphy, Moran, Brown. And that did hit a Rockville player before it went out, so that is a point for Anne Arundel. 21-20.
Michael, this is one of those situations, I think, at least in Anne Arundel's psyche, where luck plays into sports. They've missed a lot of attempts right on the line. This time they get one in their favor where it just grazes a Rockville player. That didn't have to be called on that end.
Wolf, Alvarez, Schauhorn, Rogers, Asher Brown with a nice play. Murphy going finesse, and she gets the point. That ties it up at 21-all.
We know Linda Murphy's not one to subscribe to "It's just not our night." She's going to make it her night.
No. She's going to do whatever it takes. Schauhorn, deep.
Coming at you, Michael.
Stevenson, and boy, right into the hands of Sean Kobrin. Great reaction. It's that hand-eye coordination that you need in a color commentator.
I've been working on it all week, Michael, doing my ball drills.
Tessa
Figure eights
Stoltz.
between the legs.
Wolf, Moran, here comes Murphy. Lurking, gets the point. Schauhorn says, my fault. Should have had it. 22-22. Lots of maneuvering here going on by the coaches.
Julie Brown, who's been the best server tonight for Anne Arundel.
And she grazes the net, but it gets over. Brown, oh, she got it over somehow. Romero hustles back for it. There's Schauhorn. Oh, they couldn't handle that. Too much power.
Really a bunch of players with their force of will. Julie Brown doing everything she can for that point, but no one can handle Schauhorn there, especially with the good break over the net.
Richardson, and she gets the point. Dinks it right over. Soft touch, ties it at 23. Comes Moran to serve. She's been a tough server tonight.
And she is chomping at the bit here.
Boy, she's got some nervous energy going. That one didn't have the downward arc on it, though. Oh, they thought, I'm not sure what happened there, Sean.
Looks like it just went a little bit too far, and Lauren Stevens had trouble judging it. Could have gone down to a knee and popped it up for her teammate to hit.
This could be match point. Here is Jessica Romero. She had the match point in the second set. Murphy. There's Schauhorn, and it's blocked back in there.
That was huge by the Pioneers. I mean, everything was set up for Rockville there. You had Jessica Romero serving it. Schauhorn with a great attempt right there, but the block, fantastic for Anne Arundel.
Here's Murphy. Anne Arundel breathes a sigh of relief. We're tied at 24. There's Schauhorn. That's what she wanted the last time. It's in. Anne Arundel not happy with that call, but the line judge was right there. There was no question about it from the first official. And we've got a change coming up here. Rockville making a substitution. Alvarez, let's see if she can redeem herself here on what could be match point. 25-24 Rockville. Michelle Alvarez on the serve. Moran to Wolf, and they stay in the match. They stay in the set, and they stay in the match.
A really gutty effort by both sides, just making plays back and forth. Who's
Great
going to make 2
volleyball.
plays in a row, Michael? That's what it's coming down to.
Well, that's right. They've been trading plays. There's Heidi Rogers with the serve. Romero. Alvarez. Tessa Stoltz. Block. Tessa Stoltz. Moran. Brown. And it's long. And they call a violation on Rockville.
I think it was overruled, actually. The line call was overruled by the chair official.
Okay. All right, so they do have that ability. They are the official arbiters here. The line judges are supplemental to them. And that's a point for Rockville, 26-26.
Now Schauhorn with a chance to put it away if Rockville can get 2 points in a row.
Here's Schauhorn serve. Tough one. This is going to be tough, but they do get it over. Romero to Alvarez to St. Louis. Good spot, but saved by Rogers. There's Wolf, saved by St. Louis. Alvarez gets it up. Moran. Wolf. And it's out. Point to Rockville. 27-26.
And Wolf has just caught some bad breaks tonight. That's probably
that's
the 4th
two
that she has hit out of bounds, where she had a great chance to win the
Here's
point.
Schauhorn and it's out. They let it go that time. Good decision by Heidi Rogers.
And at the last second, too, you had to hold your breath on that one.
Boy, it almost grazed her jersey. Stevenson with the serve. We're all tied up at 27. Alvarez, Clark. Got a violation on Rockville. That could turn the match, 28-27. Could turn the set, rather.
Well,
Stevenson.
subsequently end the match, possibly.
Alvarez gets it over. Here comes Wolf. And that is set point. 29-27.
Michael, this could be a huge turning point. As Wolf, we just talked about, not having a great night. Excellent kill there. And Lauren Stevens, who we talked about, has really been struggling tonight, had an excellent serve to start out that rally.
So this is what you were talking about earlier with going for the kill. And Rockville, of course, their head coach, Amir Mafinajad, hoping they didn't let it slip away there.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen because there's only one more full set, then you have that set to 15. So you really want to win that, but credit Rockville, I think both teams played really tough that set.
All right, we'll be back for the fourth set in just a moment. Hang with us. We'll be right back with the fourth set.
Basically for money reasons and the fact that I'd get to play volleyball. I looked at schools like Virginia Tech and Maryland, Clemson, Auburn, applied to all of them, got in, scholarships and stuff, but it was way better to come here for the money. I've been playing for 5 years, and even though I thought I was ready to not play anymore, I kind of wanted to play another year, and that was great being able to come here and play.
We're back on the campus of Montgomery College in Rockville, Maryland, and ready for more volleyball action. And Sean, as we listen to Rockville's freshman star Hunter Schallhorn, it sure seems like Montgomery College was the perfect fit for her for a lot of reasons.
Absolutely, Michael. Hard to believe that she couldn't play at a higher level, but as a power player at 5'5", that does catch up to you at the 4-year Division I level, because I heard the schools that she could get into, that she will probably attend one of those schools next year. Maryland, Virginia Tech, Auburn. These are outstanding academic and athletic schools as well. SEC and ACC volleyball, top notch.
Well, she said, like she said in the piece, she came here for the, it just made financial sense for her to come here, take her core courses. She's an aerospace engineering major, by the way, very rigorous major.
Right. She doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that Montgomery College is an excellent educational plan, but in this case, a rocket scientist did figure that out. But for the financial reasons, and you can see someone who can qualify to get scholarship money into some of the best 4-year institutions for sciences on the East Coast, still chooses to come here, and as an added boon, one of the best players in Maryland JUCO as well.
Well, Amir Mafinajad told me, he says, I jumped for joy when I heard she was coming here. He said, I'd been following her whole senior season and just couldn't believe that she basically fell into his lap.
And it just shows you the joy of playing athletics at the junior college level. This is someone who, by the school that she's going to, she could have gone to a 4-year Division III or Division II school most likely, but for academics, going to schools that are athletically over her head, but gets to experience the joy of the sport for another season and gets to fly through the air like that time stuffed by Richardson. Well,
we are back in action here in the fourth set. Rockville leading 2-1. And Arundel jumps off with a quick point there on a great block on Schallhorn's attempted kill.
And the people to watch are people like Richardson, people like Moran, and certainly people like Emily Wolf, who have all struggled tonight but came up big at the end of last set.
And there's a mistake by Rockville. 2-0 now. And Arundel on top. That third set was quite a set, Sean.
There's a lot of intensity. Both teams had the desperation at the end with chances to win. And both teams, just players making plays out there.
Boy, it was play after play. It just seesawed back and forth. 1 point ahead, tied. 1 point ahead, tied. That was women's college volleyball at its most exciting.
And it doesn't matter the venue, Michael. When you get in situations like that, it's fun to watch people respond, and these players really responded to that setting.
And Arundel coming out here with a purpose in this fourth set. They are definitely riding the momentum from winning that third set. As Murphy, another kill.
And we talked about Hunter Schallhorn chomping at the bit when she could sense a kill. Linda Murphy took a little crow step knowing that she was going to be able to get this kill right here, and she delivered.
Boy, she whacked it. And Moran on a nice run here to start the fourth set from the serving position. Rockville just there, they finally pick up a point.
Anne Arundel has a lot going for them early on in this set. how does Rockville respond? LJ Romero, Jessica Romero, back on the service line, has been a clutch server tonight.
She sure has. She's done a great job. She's a freshman, and of course we jinxed her.
Sorry, Jessica.
I hope she doesn't hold it against us. She's from Gaithersburg, Maryland, went to Quince Orchard High School. Here's Linda Murphy. Had a great match tonight. Boy, that was a nice dig there. Off the hands.
And they are calling the touch on Janie Besnayaka, but it looks like even though she attempted that, didn't hit her, but both officials making the call at the same time, so.
Couldn't really tell. She pulled her fingers back like she had touched a hot pot on the top of the stove. There's Murphy again. Besnayaka saves it. Schallhorn gets it over. Here comes a kill attempt. Nice block and point. Brittany St. Louis has shown me quite a bit tonight at the net.
Absolutely.
She didn't have that block there, but she was in position.
And she's been playing better match after match after match. It's really someone who's exciting to watch her progress through the season, and a young season so far at that.
Alvarez.
And that's the serve we're accustomed to from Alvarez. Tough to handle. Pioneers offense really never got going.
Nope. And St. Louis right there. Alvarez. 6'3", Anna Arundel. Good serve. Stevenson almost cupped that ball again. And that's out.
And here's an adjustment that Anna Arundel and Linda Murphy personally have made. As we see the shot goes out there. She's not making any errors on digging out the ball. She's not doing great digs, but she's putting her team in a position to let her next teammate dig it and get the ball back over. In the first two sets, she was trying to save everything left and right, really extending herself, getting out of her skill set and not trusting her teammates. And now that she's eliminated those mistakes, Anna Arundel's reaping the benefits.
Well, Anna Arundel has a 5-point lead as we take our first time out here of the second set. And right now, you've got to like the momentum on the Anna Arundel side.
They really have a lot of confidence, and we can see a little bit of negative body language on Rockville's side now. See if they can respond the way that Anna Arundel did after really slugging through a couple sets.
Well, Anna Arundel, all of a sudden, there are smiles on the faces. The grimaces are gone, at least for the moment. Rockville still, a couple of the players look a little tight. So we will see how this pans out as we progress through the fourth set.
I think as we saw in the third set, I mean, both teams were put to the test and both really responded. I think that we will see a Rockville run in this set. I don't see the Pioneers running away with it.
Oh, I don't either. And keep in mind, this is a sudden death set for Anna Arundel. If they lose it, the match is over and it goes to Rockville. Well, that's one way you get started. Point to Rockville off a Schallhorn kill.
And look at this kill, just from a dead jump stop and all the power that she generated from that.
A lot of power, and she gets a great vertical leap from a dead stop. Nice jump serve, tough. Handled well by Anna Arundel, however. Romero, Alvarez, St. Louis, Romero, can't come up with it.
Julie Brown up at the net, doing some good work there.
She's had a good match tonight. She had that great run in the third set at the serve line. Here's Stevenson, tough serve.
St. Louis and Schallhorn sort of fooled each other as to who was going to do what there. Rare mental error in this match for Rockville, but at a bad time, Anna Arundel now up 10-4.
10-4. That's one of the biggest leads we've had in any of the sets. I believe the biggest lead was 7. And they call that out.
Schallhorn with the opportunity, just a little bit long. Good call there.
Yep, good call. If any part of the ball touches the line, it's in. Clark, been a little quiet lately. And that's out as well. So Rockville picks up a point on a similar play.
And Clark being quiet, probably a consequence of the attack just not working. Rockville a little bit on their heels, having to dig out and not digging out a lot. That's why the score is the way it is right now.
11-5. Make that 12-5. Asha Brown and A.J. Clark talking it over. Figuring out what went wrong. Emily Wolf. Ooh, tough dig attempt there by Schauhorn. She went down hard.
And Michael, we talked at the opening about Anne Arundel possibly having issues with conditioning, but it looks like Rockville, you know, your body gets a little tired and your head follows. And it looks like that's what's happening a little bit. The execution is just a little bit off.
Yep. You can see that. Murphy, Romero, they're not as sharp as they were in the first, particularly the first two sets. That'll be a point for Rockville.
Asha Brown with a big response. Good sophomore leadership there.
This is where they want to get their run going. 13-6. You let Anne Arundel get any further away, and it's going to be tough to catch. Clark, Romero, Schauhorn goes a little bit softer on it, a little bit of finesse, and picks up the point.
There you go. And now being able to catch their breath a little bit, getting back to some basics. We talked at the opening. Schauhorn gets a lot of points by dinking and dunking. Her power game was really working, but then Anne Arundel had started to respond to that.
Here comes Murphy, and that's out. A little too much. Stoltz.
And this is really a boon with Stoltz serving. Not one of the great servers, but very effective right here.
She's doing a good job. She's putting it deep, and they're not getting strong returns, and then they do score that point. Just found the spot on the court.
And Stoltz plays all over the court, super sub for Rockville. Not able to move her feet in that case.
Brown on the serve. She's had a good run there. There's Schauhorn. That's in. And it's 14-9. So Rockville creeping back into it.
And you see A.J. Clark retreating to the service line right after that with a little hop in her step.
Right at our camera guy back there, Big Ed Clark. Good serve. Romero. Alvarez. Schauhorn. Good save by Brown. Brown gets it back. Oh, ooh, that could have maybe gone long, but Clark made the decision. Had to make that decision. And it's now 15-9.
She really had to play it because by the time the ball was on her, she kind of let the ball play her, so she couldn't get out of the way of it.
Right. Handcuffed her. Here's Moran. She's been one of the better servers of the night for Anne Arundel. Alvarez, Schauhorn, right to Murphy. Murphy coming up for it and can't get it over. The block was there.
A little bit of indecision by Murphy. She didn't know what she wanted to do and wound up being a block by the net.
15-10, here's Romero. Gets it over. Boy, there's an ace. Lack of communication with Anne Arundel. You could see Rogers talking to Stevenson about who should have gone for that one.
Another clutch serve by Romero. That was just well placed. Had a lot of speed and just crept over the net.
Another one. Beautiful. 2 aces in a row for Jessica Romero. She had that ball had a curve on it.
Really a lot of movement there, and at an advantageous time, 3 of Anne Arundel's slowest players on the back line, if they creep up, she's going to pop it over their head and make it tough to play, but that's what they might have to do, or bring another player back, which makes your offense a little bit less effective.
Anybody who thinks there isn't a strategy to serving in volleyball at this level doesn't know what they're talking about. Isn't that correct?
That's absolutely true. We talked about before, LJ Romero doing a great job, almost like a pitcher in baseball that can strike somebody out. You don't want your defense to have to be working for all 27 outs. Things can happen when the ball gets put in play that often. If you can get a strikeout, move the game along a little bit easier, your team is that much more effective. And Romero bringing her team back in with a couple service aces here.
That's for sure. Well, you know, when we talked to Coach Mafinajad, he couldn't say enough about her. how she had solidified the back line. And we are really seeing that here tonight out of LJ Romero.
Well, she is a team captain, a co-captain, and he calls her the captain of the back line, and you can see that. You know, we've talked about a lot of the players responding, taking the game on their shoulder. Romero doing it from a bunch of meters behind the net.
Well, she puts a lot of power into it, and she's not a big person, 5'1", maybe 100 pounds. There's Schauhorn with another point. All of a sudden, Rockville seems to have their mojo back.
And here's that run.
And it all started when actually it started with Tessa Stoltz back there, and it's continued on now with Jessica Romero. Here she goes. And that one's going out. Tried to place that one.
Yeah, it's you know, that's kind of picking her poison there. The two service aces by Romero could have very easily hit the net, been soft serves, very easy to handle.
Oh, and Murphy makes a big mistake, does not get it over the net.
That's exactly what Murphy was trying, the same sort of serve as Romero, and that's the consequence of it. So Romero gets a few points for Rockville, gives one back, but now Alvarez with a chance to serve.
Michelle Alvarez. Clark gets it over. Block. Alvarez. Romero cannot attack, so she has to just put it over. And that's off Rockville, and that'll be a point for Arundel. 17-14.
Good rally there. Finished off strong by the ever-efficient Emily Wolf,
who's really had a good match here tonight.
A lot of bad luck, a lot of balls that hit out of bounds, but now that she's found her aim a little bit, it's been another difference for Arundel in this set.
She's from Arnold, Maryland, went to Madison Consolidated High School. Heidi Rogers, the lone returner from last year's regional and district champion team, and she's serving. Schauhorn in 17-15.
Excellent work. Schauhorn was going for the short power game before that got stymied. Now she's hitting it long or dinking it in this set.
And we've got a violation on Rockville. She must have been over the line.
Looks like a bad rotation out front.
Okay, that's the call. It's a
Players
bad
rotated
rotation.
a little bit too early, at least in the eyes of the official.
And that was a gift point there, and Rockville's going to call a timeout. Amir Mafinajad not real happy about it, and they're going to try to figure out what happened here on that alignment. As you can see,
now you look at the leadership of Hunter Schauhorn. She's one of the co-captains as a freshman. Coach Mafinajad, because of the academics, as we heard from her before this set, she's probably a one-and-done player, but she's someone who is raising the level of the program through the off-season workouts, through what she tells them on the court, the most knowledgeable player on the team, and she is passing that along for the players who will return. Those are the snowball effects that really build a program.
Absolutely, because they'll remember that moment when they talked about that and what Hunter Schauhorn said. She's a leader on the team.
And then it becomes something that next year, Jessica Romero, she's still there. You know, Brittany St. Louis, somebody becomes more vocal and passes
Alvarez.
that on to the next freshman class.
Stevenson, Schauhorn, back to Schauhorn. Ooh, could not clear it. 19-15. Rockville has got to stem the tide right here if they hope to win this set. Tough serve. Alvarez elects to go over with it. And another point for Arundel.
And the front three without Linda Murphy getting the job done right now. This is really advantageous for Arundel, being able to catch a breath themselves.
Yeah, this has been a troublesome rotation. Boy, they had to dig that out. Romero with a real instinctive save there. Wolf, Clark, Alvarez, Schauhorn, point Rockville.
And that's just dangerous when you can get A.J. Clark and Hunter Schauhorn on the same side. You don't know where it's going to come from. This time tipped back for Schauhorn, could have been tipped forward for Clark.
Had absolutely no idea, and we have the angle. I had no idea which way Alvarez was going with that set. Great assist. Brittany St. Louis, 2016 Anne Arundel. And there's another good point for Wolf.
And that's one of the blocking deficiencies that Coach Mafinejad talked about. The block was there, the timing was off though.
It's a lot of timing, reading, and reacting. Not so much jumping ability. Not so much size. There's Clark. There's some size, and there's the point. 21-17. Rockville hanging in there. They need a bit of a run.
Well, Clark, the veteran, just scoring a point whenever Rockville needs it.
Murphy, woo. A lot of power behind that one. No way. Check to make sure all your teeth are still in after that one.
Absolutely.
Wow. That was a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Here's Julie Brown, has a very effective serve. Schauhorn from the middle, and that's out.
And she's given a few away this set. And that could be fatigue, you know, to hit it long, you still have to have some follow through on your wrist, otherwise it's going to sail a little bit.
23-17. Closing in on this set is, and oh, there's clearly a mistake. And we are at set point here for Anne Arundel Community College. This would tie things up at 2 should they score a point here. And Julie Brown does not clear the net.
Now Rockville needs to go on a run to respond here.
They need a big run.
Yeah, they either come back and close it out or they're going to have to play a short 5th set. Be interesting to see how they battle, what their mentality is.
There's Murphy up, and that is the set. That is the set. So Anne Arundel Community College takes the 4th set 25-18. That means we have the 5th and deciding set coming up. We'll be right back with that after this quick break. And welcome back to the Rockville campus of Montgomery College. And we've got quite a match on our hands here tonight, Sean. We're all tied up at 2 sets apiece between Montgomery College and Anne Arundel Community College.
Michael, during the break between sets, we were looking at the body language of both teams. Anne Arundel's won the last 2 in a row. They were in a huddle. They looked really loose, extremely confident. A couple of them were doing the Cupid shuffle with each other. You know, they are just oozing with confidence right now. No doubt in their mind that they're going to win it. But on the other side, for Rockville, it looks like, you know, they've just sort of shrugged their shoulders and said, hey, we just kind of petered away a couple sets, but we just have this one to play. We'll play these points out, and we got this because we've won the first 2 sets. We know that we can win this match.
Well, I think Rockville has a good shot at it here if they can play a smarter set than they did in the 4th set. That was definitely their worst set of the night by far, and I think they realize that, and I think they think we got it out of our system, and we're gonna take this set. Keep in mind, folks, the 5th and final set is played to 15. Again, it's a win by 2 situation, so it could go on forever, but it is set to go to 15, win by 2. And there's Emily Wolf, Asha Brown, and we've got points. May have stepped over the line.
Or stepped over the line. I don't know what the call was, Michael.
I'm not sure either.
there's been a lot for both sides tonight that have gotten some question.
And there's
But no
Shalhorn
argument there.
ties it up.
It's a big point right there. What's fun about this, Michael, and we've done a bunch of games together where, you know, so much of athletics is the psyche and confidence of individuals and team, and the team that loses this match is not going to be because they gave up on it mentally.
Absolutely not. Now, that was a great ace by Romero. She's getting
again.
stronger.
I think so, Michael. And like you said, you're crazy if you don't think there's a strategy to serving that. She is just placing the ball wonderfully whenever she serves.
And moving it all around the court, too. Ooh, boy, a great save by Shalhorn and an unbelievable placement by Alvarez.
And chuckling a little bit at herself, almost a violation. Something where she didn't really expect to score, but there were no pioneers over there.
2-2. Oh, I'm sorry, 3-1. Knights on top. Julie Brown, good block, but too deep.
And Michael, the fifth set, it's the only difference with 15 points is everything is compressed. One run just makes a difference. In the course of a 25-point set, you get a chance to make a few runs back and forth.
Right, there's less yin and yang in a 15-point set, and if somebody gets off to a big run, they're going to win it. But the way this match has been played, it wouldn't surprise me if we go past 15 points to determine a winner. Shalhorn.
Another smart play from her, and it looks like Rockville is back to doing what brought them here.
They look much better than they looked at any time during the fourth set. And like you said, the confidence is starting to come back into them. You can see it in the body language, the way they're talking to each other, their facial expressions. Alvarez with the serve, Moran, Tamara Richardson. There's Alvarez, here comes Shalhorn, another point. 5-2, Rockville. Now what Anne Arundel can't afford to allow to happen here is for Rockville to get a 6 or 7 point lead in a 15-point set. That's going to be tough to come back on.
Not at all, Michael.
Julie Brown deep and long and out. 6-2 Rockville. And there's a timeout on the floor, timeout taken by Anne Arundel to talk things over. Coach McGovern does not want to let this one slip away.
No, Michael, and it looks like you know, the mentality here is just shrug off those first 4 sets. We're playing this. It'll be interesting when we talk to Coach Mafina-Jad after the match. You know, do you have these situations? Throw the ball up and say 5th set, we're going to play it out.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk to him at the end of the match. We will be talking to him. We hope you all stay with us for that. And his team looked very confident, very happy in the huddle there.
Absolutely. And that's all it takes. You know, we've talked a few times tonight about how quickly the momentum swings in volleyball, and Rockville in a great position to win this match, but there's a long way to go.
There's a long way to go. This is nine tough points to go. There's Alvarez. Oh, that was an interesting serve. Murphy, and it's long. Oh, they're calling a touch ball there by Alvarez. She doesn't really complain, so couldn't tell. It was so fast.
Looks like the ball might have caught her a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think it was that she intended to touch it. There's Moran. Oh, and there's a point. So all of a sudden, we go from 6-2 to 6-4.
In between hop on Shalhorn there.
There's Moran. A lot of noise in the gym. Shalhorn, Alvarez, St. Louis. Good attack there. Alvarez. A.J. Clark. Good save.
A violation on St. Louis.
Double hit on Rockville.
A lot of Anne Arundel's runs have come tonight when Moran's been serving, as we see the double hit right there.
And that goes into the net.
See, the jinx giveth and the jinx taketh away.
That's right. We jinxed Romero earlier, and we just jinxed Moran. There's Shalhorn. Good serve. Murphy with a big kill. Both teams fired up. 7-6.
Murphy going back to serve. She's been excellent behind the line too tonight.
She's been excellent just about anywhere she's played. Real fine player. Romero, Alvarez gonna get it over. They do, and somehow they got a point out of it.
And that is the only deficiency in Murphy's game tonight. Like we talked about, it really.
She's down on the court.
I think she
might have fallen on her shoulder a little.
Possibly stunned her face a little bit.
She's saying, no, I'm okay. But, boy, yeah, she hit her shoulder on the court, and she's definitely in pain.
That is a tough thing to see. Hopefully she can shake it off. We want both these teams to finish off at their best.
We don't want to see a fine player. We don't want to see any player hurt.
Yeah, hit herself pretty hard. Could be a shoulder, could be a little bit of her face. And both teams are switching sides as we're halfway through the decisive set. So that does give Anne Arundel another second.
She's definitely in pain. There's no doubt about it. She's shaking her head that she's okay. We hope she is.
And also there's no doubt that she was going to continue to play as well.
It is her right arm, which is a factor.
That's a huge factor because her strength is not in digging the ball. No, she got in trouble right there from being out of position and trying to dig the ball. She is a power swinger and has accounted for a lot of points for Anne Arundel tonight.
That's why she got hurt. She fell awkwardly and fell on the shoulder on the hardwood. Now the first and second official are discussing things. I'm not quite sure what they're talking about. Murphy is assuring them that she's okay. Obviously, it would be a huge loss for Anne Arundel should Linda Murphy not be able to continue, but she's going to hang in there. She's tough.
Coach McGovern asked her again, and she shook him off, so she's giving every inclination that she's ready to go.
He's probably a little worried about a shoulder partial separation, perhaps, something like that. Certainly a bruise.
Sure, and always a tough call for a coach because a player's always going to want to stay in.
Particularly when it's your best player.
Absolutely, but
they never want to come out.
It looks like from how she's moving around that it doesn't seem anything particularly serious. It might hinder her ability the rest of the match, but we hope not. It's been such a good match. We don't want it to be decided on an injury, even partially.
No. I don't believe she's been off the court the entire evening, and I think we could say the same thing for Hunter Schauhorn. Tough serve. Richardson saved it miraculously there for Anne Arundel. Here comes Wolf. She found the spot.
And just like that,
8-7.
Linda Murphy dug that first serve out too, so they served it right at her, passed the first test there.
Rockville was not ready there for Richardson's save return, and that cost him.
And that led to the Julie Brown point there.
Oh, nice placement by Clark. Pretty. 9-7.
And Rockville almost got hung up by a surprise hit by Anne Arundel, just a pop-up after they made a mistake. Good rebounding, but A.J. Clark putting it down with a little bit of touch.
And the unsung hero on that play is Asha Brown digging it out of the net right before Clark dinked it over into that open spot.
Absolutely. One of the things that we've seen is a major difference between Asha Clark's game right now and last year is Clark, excellent natural athlete, good instincts, but as someone who's all over the court, would be over the center line, would hit the net. She might have had 1 or 2 violations tonight, which with as many plays as she's making, you kind of take that. Last year it was you sort of questioned the line of more harm than good. This year, there's no question that she's a force on the court, especially defensively.
Vastly improved player. Really vastly improved. Here we go. 9-7 Rockville. Wolf. Another nice touch. Keeps Anne Arundel right there. 9-8. Stevenson will be serving now for Anne Arundel.
And Stevenson served during the decisive run last set for Anne Arundel.
Alvarez, here comes Schauhorn. Rogers saves it. Nice save. Alvarez, here comes Brown. Nice placement. Goes under the net. Point for Rockville, 10-8. Boy, could it be any tighter, Sean.
No, 2 big plays by Asha Brown down the stretch. And now another sophomore, A.J. Clark, with the serve.
And she missed it.
Try to do the same thing she did last set, serve it as soon as the whistle blows, try to catch Anne Arundel unaware.
10-9, 5th and deciding set. Romero, Alvarez, Schauhorn, Rogers, Murphy, blocked beautifully by Brown. Unbelievable block, but Rockville could not come up with it. 10-10.
Great fortune by Anne Arundel there, catches a break.
They did catch a break. Here comes Schauhorn. Double hit.
So Anne Arundel with their first lead in this set.
All of a sudden, Anne Arundel in front, 11-10. Alvarez, Schauhorn. That's a point for Rockville. Whew, big point there. 11-11.
We'll see it again. Just so in control of what she wants to do on the court.
She really knows what she wants to do. I mean, very smart player. Fun to watch. That's going to be over. Nice save there by Brittany St. Louis.
This is key for Rockville to win the point. Jessica Romero serving for them.
And it's out. Murphy showing no ill effects from the bruised shoulder there, but just hit it long. Clearly out.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Here's Romero. Big series here. 12-11 Rockville. Murphy saved by Romero beautifully. Gets it over. Nicely done. Wolf into the net.
Michael, in a match where we talked about offense, will a defensive play win it? That could be the defensive play that won it.
Romero with the defensive play there, beautifully done.
They've dug out almost nothing Linda Murphy's hit because it's been so powerful, but that was a great save right there.
And that was a big point to give up there by Rockville. 13-12. There's Brown. She's been a force back there. Alvarez, Schauhorn, and that's a point for Rockville. 14-12. We are at match point.
Can you believe this is someone who is not going to play volleyball this year?
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. 14-12. This is match point. Alvarez. And that is the match, as Rockville takes the 5th and deciding set, 15-12. Rockville wins the match 3-2, and Sean and I will be right back with some highlights and some final thoughts and our player of the game after this quick break. Welcome back to the Rockville campus of Montgomery College in Rockville, Maryland. Michael Brown alongside my partner, Sean Kobrin, where we have just watched a great women's college volleyball match with Montgomery College coming out on top, 3 tight sets to 2 tight sets.
Michael, this is why we love sports. Everybody who's watching this is why we love to come out and talk about the matches and see them. It had everything that you want in an athletic competition. One team taking the advantage, the other team coming back, battles within those battles, and then Rockville coming back in the 5th set after dropping 2 in a row and winning this match. Clutch player performances, good tactics by the coaches. It really had everything that you could ever want in a match.
And we're going to talk to Amir Mafinajad, the winning head coach of Rockville, in just a second, but I'm sure he had to be happy how his players responded in that 5th set. They had won the first 2 sets, then they lost the next 2. Now, keep in mind, this is Arundel. This is the team that won the region and the districts and went to the nationals last year. But instead of hanging their head and saying, oh gosh, here we go again, they came back and won that 5th and deciding set for really probably the biggest win in his young coaching career here at Montgomery College. We'll try to pin him down on that when we get there. Now, after a 5-set match like this, you know, it's a tough job. But somebody's got to be the player of the game, and it's your job to pick them. So who's it going to be?
Well, my apologies to, heck, just about everybody on Rockville, and especially Jessica Romero, who had all kinds of clutch plays in the back line and a lot of service aces in the 4th and 5th set when the 4th set was contested as well. But Hunter Schallhorn, my goodness, what a match that she had today. All kinds of kills all over. Really, as she went, Rockville went. She struggled a little bit in the 3rd and 4th sets, had a couple mental errors, but 1st, 2nd, and 5th set, she was deadly. Her hitting percentage had to be well over 500.
Oh, she was, her accuracy was amazing, and the timing and the power for someone who's only 5'5". She's not a 6-footer like some of the players out there. And one quick tip of the hat to Michelle Alvarez, who laid so many great sets up there for her to just drive home for the kill.
Sure, I think we pointed out all her mistakes in the match, and that was 3. And she has to set every time the offense can be organized.
And before we go to break, you know, we really have to mention Linda Murphy from Arundel. This was without a doubt the star of their team tonight. She almost matched Hunter Schallhorn kill for kill. A lot of intensity. She played hurt for a good part of the 5th set there. She did a great job also for Arundel.
And we've seen a lot of good teams and good players at Maryland JUCO. I think she's one of the best in all of Maryland JUCO.
Well, stick with us, folks, because we're going to be right back with a special post-game interview with the winning head coach of Montgomery College Rockville, Amir Mafinajad. Once again, Montgomery College comes out on top 3-2. We'll be right back with that interview after this. Welcome back to the Rockville campus of Montgomery College in Rockville, Maryland. And Sean and I are pleased to be joined by the winning head coach of the Montgomery College Rockville Knights, Amir Mafinajad. Coach, congratulations on a big win tonight, 5-set victory over Arundel.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Now, Coach, we were looking at the body language in the huddles before the 5th set. Looks like your players got down a few times in the 4th set on themselves, but we're able to kind of shrug it off and say, let's go play this 5th set. Is that what you sort of felt too?
Yeah, we dug ourselves a hole coming to the 4th game, and I told them that they're not going to go down easy. They're going to fight, and they're going to come back strong. And they managed to dig themselves a hole, and they worked through it, and they got some momentum going into the 5th game, and that's what it's all about. It's kind of hard when you get down by 6 or 7 points to have a comeback against a strong team. So you just got to play defense, and you come back by playing defense and being aggressive and hustling and kind of setting the momentum going into the 5th game.
Well, let's talk about a couple of the individual performances tonight. Really, individual performances within a team performance. And let's start with Hunter Schallhorn. I mean, what can you say?
A lot of good stuff. She's amazing, and she's the player we look for. If you need a pickup, you know, she's not the, you know, she's got like quiet leaders, you know, by example. A lot of girls are following her lead, and which is great. I mean, she does a lot of things very well. And anytime we need a point, we know who to look for wherever she's on the court, and she's such a great athlete, you know, for her size, and she's just dominating.
And a big clutch performance by Jessica Romero. Had a few service aces, especially in that 5th set, that really made a difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I've been telling her from day one, you're the captain, you know, the back row. You know, you get there, you got to play defense, and she does a great job hustling. She's one of our better passers, and she serves great. I mean, she's also in attacks from the back row, so she's great. And she's from Quince Orchard, so I found out about her that she's coming here. I was ecstatic. I'm like, you know, but that's what we needed last year, was some good passing and a strong libero play, and she's just solidified that position for us greatly this year.
And you really got great contributions from top to bottom of the roster tonight. Asha Brown made some really key plays at the net. Michelle Alvarez with her accurate and really well-placed sets.
Absolutely. Asha has been great, and she didn't get too many attempts tonight, but she usually, when she attacks, and she's been on. Today we didn't utilize her as much, or we couldn't, or we didn't, but she did a great job, and we were counting on her as one of our offensive players to put the ball away. And Michelle, you know, she's got a little injury with her right hand, but we've been icing it throughout the week, and we got a match tomorrow, so, you know, she's done great for us. She hustles, and she runs the office. She's smart. She knows where to go and who to set the ball to if we need a critical point.
Now, Coach.
And A.J. Clark, you got to mention her.
Yeah.
She swooped in from that outside hitter position and really got you guys going, particularly in the first 2 sets.
Absolutely. She did great. I mean, I wrote it down for her, and I mentioned it to her. I'm like, you're playing very well, and you're mixing up your shots, you're swinging hard, you're tipping the ball, getting their defensive players on their heel, and she did great. I'm trying to get her to play a little bit of defense, a little bit more quickness, so that we can utilize her all around the court. But she's coming along, and she's been working hard through the off season, and she's have improved. And she came on strong last year toward the end, but she's doing a heck of a job for us. I'm counting on her as well as another option opposite Hunter.
Coach, we were talking about tactics as the match wore on. It looked like the back line of Anne Arundel, when they were in a rotation with some of their front players, it looked like your players were really trying to hit it to them because they struggled digging the ball when it was hit long to them. How much does that come out of the huddle? How much is that just a natural, the players knowing what the matchup is?
We talk about it in the huddle. Then between Dan and I, we just look for, you know, who does their offense run to and who are their strong hitters, and that couple of players that didn't get too many attempts, and who are their strong passers, and so we can stay away. And we kind of in the huddle just say, okay, number 7, you know, their offense runs through them. So when she's front row, you know, 8 out of 10 times that ball is going to go right to her. So let's key on her and let's adjust our defense. And we had a different strategy for the 5th game. I didn't end up using it to get a stronger blocker up there for Michelle, but we didn't end up needing it that bad. But those are the things that we cover in the huddle, and they went out there and they executed, and they did a hell of a job. So we're extremely proud of them, the way they came out, and they played very well.
This has to be the biggest win of your young MC coaching career, would you not say that?
Absolutely, absolutely. It was exciting. I told them after one of the timeouts, and just to kind of calm them down, like, I'm just ready to put on my shorts and get out there and play. It was just exciting. I was jumping up and down, and I'm kind of losing my voice, but it was a great win. You know, we thought we had them and 3, but they fought hard, and it was a good, as Dan described it, character win. So it was exciting, you know, to finish it the way we did.
Coach, we talked about at the beginning this kind of setting the pecking order for where Montgomery College Rockville lays in the standings. Howard County beat Anne Arundel. Anne Arundel, the defending champions, you guys have a win over them. Where does this kind of help you push the program for this season?
The sky's the limit. I told them we had our first home game that we had. We came out flat, and we worked hard since then. And I told them, I said, this is the intensity, and it's all in your hands, and you gotta, you know, there's only so much that we can tell you from the coach's perspective. And it's all in your hands, and you guys got to go out there, and they did a hell of a job. And, you know, we're positioning ourselves. We're off to a good start. And we'll see what happens. We played Howard at the tournament, and I'm excited to kind of see how our season goes and improve as we go.
Well, Coach, best of luck for the rest of the season. Thanks so much for giving us such a great match here tonight.
That was great.
Congratulations on a big win for the team and for the program.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Thanks for having you guys here.
You're welcome. Thank you. So once again, from the Rockville campus of Montgomery College in Rockville, Maryland, the Montgomery College Rockville Knights takes the match tonight from Arundel Community College, 3-2. And from all of us at Montgomery College Television, thanks for watching, everybody.